Hello everybody. I'm going to try to make a quick video tonight for a fellow named Craig Finley. I had made a comment on a Gun Sam Revolver aficionado video a couple months back. It was about 32 Smith & Wesson versus 380 versus 22. And Gun Sam loves the 32, and so do I. I love his videos. If you haven't seen any of his stuff, go and check him out. But Craig was asking me about a comment that I made about an XTP bullet that I wanted to make some reloads with. And I hated to clog up Gun Sam's comment section with a back and forth that we were doing. So I thought I would try to make a video, and if Craig gets to see this, I'm going to try to make sure I get in contact with you, that you could ask questions and we won't be clogging up anybody else's stuff. So I'm going to bring the camera around here onto the table of a bunch of stuff I got laid out here and try to explain. All right, first question I'm going to try to answer for him is, what are XTP bullets, rounds? These are produced by Hornady, XTP, Extreme Terminal Performance, and these that I'm hoping to use, and I have used for a couple things, is an 85 grain. That means the weight of this bullet is 85 grains. Whatever powder charge you put behind them is going to change how powerful that that round actually is. And these, you know, being 32 caliber, this is an already fired 32 S&W long casing. So yeah, you could load these in there, and depending on the powder charge that you use, and you got specifications in a manual that will tell you how much that should be, and you don't want to go more than that, or you can do yourself some serious harm. So these XTPs come in a couple of different calibers. There's a couple different 38 caliber that are different grain weight. These are 158 grain for a little bit heavier. These are 125 grain for a little bit lighter. You even can get them in a 9mm. So it's just this this hollow point design so that you get better expansion when you hit. There's also the possibility of casting your own bullets. This is a 32 mold that I have. I think it's supposed to be a 93 grain. I think it comes in closer to 80, 85, 88, something like that. But I've loaded these into 32 Smith & Wesson long cases, and actually had really good luck with them. So I think the next thing that I want to talk to Craig about is what actually are you using for your gun, your revolver. I know that some get a little bit misleading with their markings. If you've got a really old pistol like this one, and this is an old top break, when you look real close here on the barrel, let's see if I can get it in close enough to actually even see it. It will just say 32 Smith & Wesson CTGE cartridge. So that means that this gun really should only fire these. This is what we call a 32 Smith & Wesson short, or it's just 32 Smith & Wesson. And these are some Magtechs. They're an 85 grain, pretty light. You can chamber a 32 Smith & Wesson long in that cylinder, but it's kind of not a good idea. Probably pretty dangerous, and you could damage the gun, or you could hurt yourself. So these, the old ones, I have two of these, and I really reserve them just for 32 Smith & Wesson. Now, if you've got something more like this one, this is an old H&R 732, and if you get to looking good and close on that barrel, it is marked for 32 Smith & Wesson L for long. So this one's going to fire, these commercially loaded 32 Smith & Wesson long. They're a 98 grain. It'll fire those just fine. Or like I've done my hand loads with that 90 something grain bullet, that'll fire just fine. If you loaded this XTP projectile in a case with the right, powder measurements, you could fire him in this, no problem. Now, where these 32 revolvers get kind of funky and interesting, at least for me and some others, is it's still a 32 caliber, but this is a 32 H&R Magnum, and this is another, what is this one, an NEF, yep, model R73. So this one's chambered in 32 H&R Magnum, and that's going to be this one. Now, you had mentioned, Craig, about you found some Buffalo bore 32 Smith & Wesson long. They would probably be okay. Buffalo bore tends to be kind of a more stout load in most cases. So this 32 H&R Magnum is not going to chamber in the 32 Smith & Wesson long or in the 32 S&W, the short. It's only going to chamber in this one. Now, this revolver will chamber and shoot 32 Smith & Wesson longs or 32 Smith & Wesson short, or just 32 Smith & Wesson. And not to get things too confusing or anything, but it'll also fire a 32 ACP, but we're going to take that one out of the picture for right now. So, make sure if you're buying for your revolver, you're buying for your revolver, and you can work down with these higher, like the Magnums and the 327 I'll show you in a second, and you can work down, but those can't work up. So this is actually kind of one of my favorites, a 32 H&R Magnum. But what I had commented to Sam about was that I had traded a 380 on a 327. Now this is an older Taurus 327 Federal Magnum, and this cartridge is, this one back here, a little bit longer, so it's got a little bit more case capacity, so it gets a little bit more, a little more oomph, a little more boost. And when you were asking about grain weight on bullets, could you fire them in the different kinds? So this is the 327 box, and I don't know exactly what the load is in here, but this is an 85 grain bullet, and it's very, very similar, if not exactly the same. I'm pretty sure it is that XTP bullet. So when we talk about bullets versus a cartridge or a round, this is a bullet, and this cast bullet is a bullet, but a cartridge or a round is one that's already been loaded, whether it was commercially or this one that I hand loaded. This is a 32 SW round, and this 327 will then fire the 327, the H&R Mag, the S&W, the SW long, the SW short, and it'll even shoot the ACP, but it's not something that's highly recommended. So Craig, I hope that helps out some. I tried to get enough stuff out to demonstrate it. I hope it didn't make it any more confusing. But if you have any more questions, please, by all means, leave me a comment, or if you want to email me, my email is in the description on my page. So, thanks a lot. Hope everybody's having a good night.